Make no mistake, we're in a market where property prices are going down.
Yeah.
Right? But what everyone needs to understand is, there isn't one property market, there's markets within the market. But the only people selling is the people that have to. So why do they have to sell?
That's true.
He said he did 6 auctions on Saturday.
Yeah.
And he goes, none sold. There was 0 registered buyers for all 6 auctions.
For all 6 auctions?
All 6 auctions. I think the auction clearance rate up in Brisbane was like 16%. Everyone is going to give you the advice to don't do anything, don't do this, don't do that, because they're scared. When you're a buyer, these are the ideal conditions. The problem is your emotions.
Yeah.
There's no pressure on the buyer. There's only pressure on the seller. This is the environment where you're most likely to underpay for an asset.
Right now.
Right now. If something is good value at $1, is it a better deal at 80 cents? This is when people who have money do deals. Man, I'm telling you, it's time to do deals.
Let's go.
Let's go. Welcome to episode 4, the Teach Me About Property podcast.
Let's go.
I'm Massey Archibald, the CEO of Teach Me About Property, and I'm here with my boy Felise.
What up?
Talk to me, man. How's your week?
Man, this past week, Grandma turned 80, bro.
80.
80 years old. We had her 80th birthday on Sunday.
Where was that?
On Sunday night.
No, where?
At Ambervale.
Okay.
Man, bro, they've pimped that up, eh? Like it's
Where?
Ambervale Hotel, right next to Audi.
Oh, okay.
It's the hospital, and then you go towards Ambervale. On the right
I've never been there, but yeah.
Yeah, man. You know what the cool thing about it was? All my cousins, bro. Seen all my cousins there, and they all have kids.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I've been married for 12 years, Mass, right?
Yeah.
You know, when I got married off.
So you're talking about the younger cousins?
The younger cousins,
yeah,
man.
okay, yeah.
So all my younger cousins were there, and they were walking around with babies. I'm like, bro, the last time I seen you, you guys were like, teenagers, youth age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the big thing for me was, man, my grandma, she's turning 80, bro. It's different, eh? You know, our parents. Our grandparents, my fondest memory of my grandma was her energy. You know, she would always buy hot chips at Claymore shops. Claymore, man, we used to drive there every Sunday. You know, that was my childhood memories, man. Driving down to Claymore Sunday night. You know, it's called Keke Site, this Tongan cake. But to see her now, the energy's just not there. You know, and I think for me it was just a reality check on. Like, bro, everyone's getting older, man. And they're like, bro, how many kids you got? I'm like, 7. They're like, whoa.
You don't want that.
They're like, how did you do it, bro? How do you do it? I said, bro, you got this, man. Just one by one. One child by one child, man. That's the key. But yeah, man, that was my week. I think it was just emotional with the family. I think it's my mum's mum, So, yeah, that was cool. That was cool to see the family. How about you?
Yeah, for me, my week. You do the crime, you do the time.
Okay, what's going on, man? What did you do?
So the last episode I wasn't feeling well. I was
100%,
sick.
100%.
And so what happens is I get into this mode mentally where I'm like, you know what? Next week I'm back on.
Yeah.
And every time I do that,
Just doesn't shut off?
pardon?
Doesn't shut off for you, eh?
No, but I'm like, next week I'm back on. I'll be 100%. I'll be doing everything. And as soon as I start mentally thinking like that, I'm like, okay, well, how many days I got?
Oh.
Well, that gives me 3 days. And then 3 days, there's this food truck that opened. I don't know if you can see it on the cameras, but I got like these pimples coming up on my face.
Yeah.
Because me, when I'm bad, bro. When I'm bad,
When it's on.
Bro, when it's on, momentum. Baby. It's
momentum.
on.
Consistent.
So I can be healthy, I can be clean, I can eat clean, but man, when it is on like Donkey Kong.
What's that person called? Is that Massey or is that like another Mass?
He don't need a name. We don't want to name him. He's the guy I used to be. I'm not him anymore.
Yeah.
But sometimes he shows up. So what happened was I got 3 more days, and there's this food truck that just opened. Like this food truck, literally just around the corner. Okay. It's called Bon Appetit.
Oh, yeah.
It's an Italian food truck.
Yeah.
If you haven't, you really should. If you live in Southwest Sydney, bro, make that
Check it
trip. Check it out. Bon Appetit. Love.
Carbs on carbs?
So the pasta's amazing. They do a lot of gnocchi. Right, so they do gnocchi. So we smash those, gnocchi formaggi and all of these other ones.
What is it, like a little pasta? Is it pasta?
Yeah, but gnocchi is actually potato.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's done like a pasta, so you eat it like a pasta. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's game over. We smash that, and they've also got a gnocchi, like a range of gnocchi desserts.
Sugar, baby.
They had this. Well, this is it. This is what I'm getting to. Do the crime, you do the time, right?
Okay.
So they have a gnocchi. It's cinnamon Nutella.
Yeah.
Yeah, smash that because it's like the gnocchi's like toast. It almost tastes like a donut.
Okay.
Right, and then they've got the Nutella and
so
the
they
cinnamon.
talk about drizzling.
Drizzle. Got that drizzle.
A light
bang.
drizzle or heavy drizzle?
Heavy drizzle. Heavy drizzle. Right. So I had that, and then I also had the Dubai.
Oh.
The gnocchi Dubai. We got it.
Cranking. Yeah. Viral right now.
But like I said, you do the crime, you do the time. Because what happens every time, what happens for me, I go hard in the 2 or 3 days before I know I'm back on. And then I tidy up my diet and it all just comes out, man. It comes out. So you do the crime, you do the time. So what is that? My skin plays up, I get heaps of pimples, and I put on weight.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've noticed that.
That's my boy Felise.
Let's go. Keep each other accountable, guys.
That's it. Like my fastest, the most weight I've ever put on in a short period of time, I put on 9 kilos in 5 days. And that was on a trip back to New Zealand once.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm not him anymore. Like, that ain't me.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore.
Change man.
I'm not changed. I'm just different now.
Temporarily
right?
sometimes.
I'm just different. But make no mistake, guys, no matter how much you change, if you do the crime, you do the time.
Yeah.
You eat bad, you're going to put on weight. You eat bad, it's going to come out. For me, it comes out of my skin. I get pimples on my face. And I'm like, hey, what's that? And then you shave. It's annoying, but...
more visible.
So that's kind of been it. So I'm back on now.
How you feeling now?
I'm feeling great. Feeling really good. Today was the first day where I'm like 100%. Let's go. Effort in the gym.
Back to kind of
back to where like, so I can feel like I've, you lose strength, you lose conditioning.
What does that workout look like for you?
Well, so today's workout's chest. So Monday is pull, Tuesday is push. Right, pull. So that's generally backs skewed, and then Tuesday's push. So and then tomorrow I do some zone 2 stuff, maybe 60 minutes, low and slow run. Yeah, low and slow, just build the engine. But back at it, man. Finally feeling, after being sick and all of that, I finally feel like I'm back to 100%.
Weeks, man,
I can get through my get through my routine. I feel great, and we're here, ready to bang.
All right, we got some questions for Massey. Bro, Massey, our socials have been blowing up. We're going
like
viral, bro.
Trade, baby.
Shout out to everyone. We've got a couple of questions. One main question is, with all the government changes, is now still a good time to buy property? Yeah,
great question. Great question. And I think I'll kind of cover both sides here, right? Because there's a conversation. So the big conversation around like people's like, no, now's not a good time to property. The analogy they use is nobody wants to catch a falling knife, right? So what does that actually mean? So make no mistake, we're in a market where property prices are going down, right? But what everyone needs to understand is, there isn't one property market, there's markets within the market, right? So certain segments of the property market are going down and going down very aggressively. So the fastest falling markets right now is being led by the top end of the market. Right? So you're getting $6 million properties. So $6.4, $6.3 million properties selling for 5.7. Yeah.
Wait, so what was the number again?
so let's say previously sold for 6.3, 6.4, just sold for 5.7.
And when did they buy that property? That was...
not long ago. So, but the top end of the market is falling, right? It's coming down.
That's like $500,000 or what? What's that?
Yeah, but it's $500,000 out of $6.5 million, bro. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's a huge drop.
So they just take a hit, basically.
Well, you're
they're probably downsizing and just...
Well, if people are selling in this market, they have to sell. No one's selling for the sake of selling.
Right? Okay, that makes sense.
So they're selling because they have to sell. You just don't know what's going on in their universe. They might have been hit hard. They've just got to get out.
Yeah, they just need funds. Right?
So the top end of the market falling. And so the analogy, the bottom end of the market, entry level. So if you're in Sydney, entry level, which is sub, say, 950, solid. That ain't going down, bro. Everyone is down there trying to find
there's a massive demand there with the government grants.
Well, the demand has actually gone up because borrowing capacities have gone down. So people who could afford more previously, their borrowing capacity has been pushed down.
That's what you're saying. The lower market's still solid.
Solid. Huge demand.
Makes sense.
More people can afford it.
Makes sense.
And then they're the people that are just buying, right? So the analogy of you don't want to be the one who catches a falling knife is, well, what if you buy a property today for it was 6.4 and you bought it for 5.7. You just saved 700,000. So the theory is, but what if it goes from 5.4 to 5 mil? right?
Yeah.
So that's what they're saying. You don't want to catch a falling knife.
Yeah. Okay. That's the
Because the property prices could keep going down. So that's the negative aspect of the way that people look at the market today. So those people are like, no, don't buy.
Yeah.
The prices are falling, and they're going to fall further, and you don't want to lose money when you buy property.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one school of
But I
thinking.
think it's important to understand that's the headlines right now. Like that's what
100%.
they're selling, right?
So
And
sentiment is very negative.
yeah.
Negative, right? But the smart money, this is when people who have money do deals. Actually, there's two people who are doing deals right now.
Yeah.
Right? First homeowners, because they're like, yeah, we can buy a house now.
Yeah.
And they're not worried about the market. They're just like, we've been saving for 5 years. We're in a good
They just want to
position.
get out of renting.
We just want to go buy a property.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
my rent's about to go up by $100. I'm over this. It's already been up by $250 in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
$350. It's too much.
And
I'm
that's
going to
still
buy
a
a
strong
house.
market right now.
Yeah, so those people are still buying, right? They're going to buy. They're going to buy. They're able to buy. They don't buy based on market cycles.
That's right, yeah.
They buy based on their ability to be able to buy.
Yeah,
So
so
now
makes
they're in a
sense.
position to buy, so they just go buy property, right? So that's the first group. The second group is people that have money. They can sit back and watch. Because these people understand if something is good value at $1, is it a better deal at 80 cents? That's the way they think.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, but the other school is saying, no, don't buy something's worth $1. If it goes to 80 cents, don't buy it because it might go to 60 cents.
Yeah.
Right? So they're the two schools of thoughts. But the smart investor, the people who understand property, they don't just understand market sales. They understand the intrinsic value of the asset.
Yeah.
And they know that, hey, I used to be able to buy this for this price. Now I can get it cheaper. Why would I not buy it?
Yeah, why would I not buy? Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. It's like you go to the shops, there's a new pair of shoes come out, $350.
As soon as it drops, I'm in.
Drops.
Yeah.
Drops to
Get it
$250.
now.
You're like, babe, let's grab those shoes.
There's a deal. The deal's
You know what I mean? So, and for me, I always skew to the second school of thinking because we have the ability to understand what is the actual value of the property, right? And so sometimes a property could be could be selling for $2 million.
Yeah.
That's actually overpriced, but the market's hot.
Yeah.
The media is positive.
Yeah.
So that person's like, oh, mate, I'll buy it from him. Oh, mate, the last guy, he's already made $300,000 in 6 months. I'm going to buy it and then I'll make 300, right? But what happens is in that environment, you can get caught in overpaying.
Yeah.
In the new environment, this is the environment where you're most likely to underpay for an asset.
Right now.
So for me, is
that's
now,
important to understand,
is now a good time to buy a property. You have property prices are lower than what they've been previously. You're able to go and buy a property. You're able to negotiate on a property. You're able to make an offer, leave that offer with the vendor and say, bro, call me if you change your mind.
Have confidence to walk away from the deal.
I watched so I watched Tom Panos, a video from him during the week.
Yeah.
And he said he did 6 auctions on Saturday.
Yeah.
And he goes, none sold. Right? He's like,
Wow.
he's like the worst result. But he said that wasn't the worst result. He's had weekends where stuff hasn't sold.
Yeah.
But what made it the worst result is there was 0 registered buyers for all 6 auctions.
For all 6 auctions?
All 6 auctions. 0.
And they still had him come there?
None. Right? So that is an astonishing result. So what you got to understand is if you all ringing up to make an offer, bro, it's just you.
You're the power, man. You got
It's
the
just
power.
You're like, and then so all you're like, oh, well, come back to me. That's my offer. Leave it. Unemotional. You get to buy a property in an extremely unemotional way, and you get to get the best deal for you. Oh, well, you know, the owner wants this, the owner wants that. Well, my question would be, well, why is the owner selling in this market?
Yeah.
The only people selling is the people that have to. So why do they have to sell?
That's true.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Massey, you know, yeah, but be honest, all right? So tell us what's their situation. Why do they need to sell a property in a market that's clearly falling? Why do they sell it? Why are they selling? Okay, well, now that we understand that, this is my offer. Oh, what an agent will always say to you is, oh, mate, if it was that cheap, I'd buy it.
Yeah.
You say, well, you should. But
we've had offers come through already.
Yeah, cool. Okay. But they also have a responsibility to present all offers.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They have a responsibility to present all offers. So they'll muck around with you on the phone and you go, okay, that's cool. Just present my offer and then give me a call. Because they'll say no because they want to get you up. But you say, look, go back to the vendor. And there's no like, oh, you have to transact now. Like,
Yeah,
let's
right.
get to buy the best deal. This is the market to buy the best deal. So for me, if you're an investor, you're in a good position, you've got lots of equity, now's the time to go shopping for deals. Shopping for deals.
Yeah, massive opportunity. Yeah,
Massive opportunity.
and we're seeing that right now.
Right now, this market, right? So I think the auction clearance rate up in Brisbane was like 16%.
16%. That's a lot of empty auctions.
That's less than 1 in 5. So normally 50% is like a barometer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So 1
yeah.
in 2 sells. 16%, 1 in 5, right? So we're seeing what people need to understand is when you're a buyer, these are the ideal conditions. The problem is your emotions.
Yeah.
Because everyone you speak to, I don't care who it is, it's whether your brother-in-law, your friend who owns a couple of properties,
Yeah.
everyone is going to give you the advice to don't do anything, don't do this, don't do that, because they're scared.
Well, this is a very common question too, Massey.
Yeah.
Like every week we get that, and even for me, I get that question all the time. Is now the right time to buy property? But I think it also comes from their perspective of what they're hearing,
Yeah, they're scared.
and also what they're seeing online.
Yeah. So people are scared, but here's what you need to understand. If you go and buy things, so put property aside for a second.
Yeah.
If you like to go out and buy things and get a good deal on the things that you buy, this is your time.
Now's the time, right?
Now's the time.
eh?
Right?
Yeah.
If you're like full price, hey mate.
Yeah, we're always shopping for a
full
discount.
price. If you're the people that want to get a good deal, now is the time, right? And so everyone should be thinking, I want to get a good deal. There's no pressure on the buyer. There's only pressure on the seller. Go and get a good deal. So yeah, like I said, you're going to read and see people who say it's not a good time. You don't want to catch a falling knife. The market's falling. You want to buy. But man, I'm telling you, it's time to do deals.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Massey, what is the new lie that the Labor government is telling us
Right
now?
These guys. Albo and the boys.
Albo and the gang.
Exposed, bro. Exposed. So we all know about the self-managed super fund changes,
yep.
right? And if you're watching for the first time and you just get into property and you don't understand those changes, the Labor government brought in changes with the budget, right? Where they said after the 10th of August, self-managed super funds can no longer borrow money to buy residential property in Australia.
Gangster.
Right? And that's a heartbeat away.
Yeah.
It's a heartbeat away.
Like next week.
Yeah. So it's close, very close. And so the data that they used was they said that self-managed super funds only account for 4,000 residential property transactions per year.
Per year. 4,000.
Yeah. Not true.
What's the number?
Albo, you lied again, bro.
Elbow, man.
You lied
That guy's
again,
a
bro.
gangster. He's the
You
real
lied
gangster.
again.
What's the actual number?
So from a group of lenders, right? For second tier lenders.
Yeah.
So second tier lenders are generally the ones that borrow the money in self-managed super funds.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So the second tier lenders
And they
have
know,
come out.
they know their numbers.
Well, they're like, wait a minute. Last year, a small group of second tier lenders, they said, well, last year we wrote 16,000.
16,000 last year.
16,000 residential home loans for self-managed super funds. 16,000. And so why is this an issue? The reason why this lie is a big issue, because the real problem is supply. Right?
Okay.
So there's not enough properties.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So they said, oh, we're going to help
So
with
there's
property.
16,000 less properties.
Yeah, so let me
Because of the
explain.
changes,
But let's break down that 16,000. So that 16,000 is predominantly, so we're talking about the residential.
Yeah.
It's predominantly new builds. It's predominantly off the plan purchases. So that 16,000, a large portion of it is actually contributing to new supply.
Yeah.
Which is the one thing
driving
that the government is trying to do.
Yeah, it's driving it.
Like we posted the video from our last podcast
Yeah.
talking about the lack of supply and
right.
they're 262,000 short over the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And now they're going to lose 16,000 a year. A year.
Wow.
It's not the whole 16,000, but it's a large portion of that number are new builds or off the plan purchases.
Yeah.
And at a time where the Labor government needs more construction, needs more builds, needs more new homes. The initiative that they just put into place has just ripped that out of the market. And when does it stop? Stops now. Now, like I said, next week, the 9th of August is the last day you can sign a contract to buy. So, Albo, Chalmers, you've been caught out again, bro. There's so many vids, there's so many reels online of them going, we will never make changes to negative gearing. We have no plans.
Wait, so to remind us, why were they justified in doing that in the first place?
Well, so the first thing they said, look, we're making the change, but it's a nominal amount of properties. So it doesn't matter. Like the change doesn't matter. Yeah, but it does. That's almost as bad as the lie they told saying your rent's only going to go up by $2.
Yeah, $2. Oh my gosh.
So all of their stats that they're trying to use as the foundation for making the decisions they're making, they're just wrong. And they're that wrong. They're so far wrong, right? They're lying. So that's the new lie, bro. So Albo, Chalmers, busted, bro. Busted.
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
Right? The Australian people aren't as stupid as you're making them out to be.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're here, man, right?
That's why we're here, bro.
Give facts on facts, clarity.
Bro, myth busting, bro.
Oh, man.
Myth busting. Come on, bro.
What do they call it? Busted or what are they?
Fact checking.
Is there a positive in that mess? Like with those changes, is there a positive?
Oh, there's no positive. There is no upside.
Wow.
There is no upside to stripping new supply out of the Australian property market. Supply is the one thing that Australian property market needs.
Yeah.
So any initiative that limits supply, they should bin that. Bin it. Gone. Because supply is what they need.
Well, the upside, like we discussed on last podcast, was the superannuation companies. They now have more control over the funds. That's what it...
Well, that's the upside. But how does that help mum and dads that are renting homes? It's not. It's not. There's no help. So the people that they're purporting to help...
Busted.
The lies that they're telling... Bro, we found you, bro.
Busted. Facts on facts.
Check.
Okay. Massey. Bro, I see these on Instagram.
Okay.
Channel 7, Melbourne.
Talk to me.
From slab to house in 20 days.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. So we're talking about supply, building houses, right? So one of the big problems with building houses, it takes so bloody long. It takes long. It takes a long time in Australia, right?
So can you just explain what that actually is? Like, what does it mean? Like, what's happening? Like,
so what they're saying is from the time that the slab goes down to completion of construction, 20 days.
Crazy.
20 days, right? So what does that actually look like? Or how do they do that?
Yeah, how do they do that?
So the construction type changes. So they're talking about prefab construction, right? So just build it in a factory in China, flat pack it, and then IKEA on site.
Channel 7 referred as Legos.
Yeah, Lego, IKEA, same.
Bro, that's crazy, man.
It is crazy. So it's fact. So what they're saying is it's 4 days to get from slab to lockup. Right? So lockup means the house is up, the windows and doors are in, the walls are in, the roof's on, and you can lock the property and you can't get in or out. 4 days. That's crazy. And then 20 days to here, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner.
No way.
Yeah, done. So the headline is amazing and it's a good thing. Yeah. So well, let's look at the construction piece first, right? So prefab construction already exists in commercial building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in prefab, you'll get like the tilt-up panels. Yeah. And they say, it's just thing on site. You get it to site. Just tilt it up. Yep, there's your building. Right? So in commercial, there's forms of this type of construction that exists. Right? In residential, doesn't exist at all. Yeah. So who did it? Metricon is the builder. Yeah. They built 2 homes. And they delivered them within 20 days.
Crazy.
They did it down in Trigonina, down in Melbourne.
What is that compared to an ordinary house being built?
Yeah, great question. So normally when you build a house, it can take anywhere from, say, 6 months to a year. Easily. Very easily.
So we're talking about the boys coming on site, framing it.
Yeah, you got the slab going down, then you got the frames. Then you got to put the put the roof on. You got to put the brick. You got to lay the bricks. No, you got to lay the bricks. You got to put the walls and the windows and doors in. And then you go and do the interior. The fit out. Yeah, you do the fit out. You got to put the walls in. You do the rough in with all of the cabinetry and all of that stuff. And then you get to the last part and you do all your flooring, all your painting, all your final cabinetry goes in.
Yeah.
And then you'll do the exterior as well with the lawns and the fencing. And then you get to practical completion and then you hand over the property.
So that time frame is between 6 to 12 months.
Between 6 to 12 months. It'll be longer if it's a large double story. Yeah. So, and look, the worst construction timelines was probably during COVID. Like those timelines were padding out to 2 years.
Crazy.
To some people longer.
Yeah.
So there were major supply issues and whatever. So we can see that when you compare this to a standard residential construction, like it's difficult to comprehend how much faster it is. Like 20 days. Like you can't do anything in 20 days. Right? So from go to home. But who is this for and how do they actually see it working out?
Yeah.
Because Metricon spoke on it, right? And they said, look, where is this going to work? Where will this be ideal? So the first thing they said is, for them, they'll more likely use it in regional areas.
Okay.
The reason why is because in regional areas, there's huge skill shortages. There's not enough builders. There's not enough, brickies. There's not enough tradespeople, right? So they said it's perfect for regional areas where it's hard to get access to the actual people.
Yeah.
But what they've also said, and this is the part that you don't read, this is the behind the headline piece. It's they see this as being for like projects. So what does that mean? Someone wants to build 10, 12 townhouses. Ideal.
Back to back.
Because the construction happens all at the same time. It's very efficient. So they would build at volume. They use this for volume.
Yeah.
So what that means is not really for mum and dads, for large build to rent. So if someone wants to build like say 40 or 50 affordable houses within close proximity right next to each other and construct them all at the same time, ideal. Yeah, perfect. But it's not really like, we're in Lappington and in Sydney.
Well, it's not at that stage right now.
Well, they're not going to roll it out here. At this stage, with how new it is, that's where they're going to test it. That's where they see it fixes the biggest problem and it meets the biggest need. So when I looked at the data on this, it's about speed, not necessarily a huge reduction in price. Speed, about getting it there faster.
So the price is the same?
Well, it's not the same, but it's not like... It's not the same difference in, how time has gone from 12 months down to 20 days.
It's like, whoa,
so it's not going from 400,000 down to 20,000. So it's not the same. It'll be slightly cheaper, but it's not the same dramatic change in terms of speed. This is a speed play. And the reason why it's effective for the builder and from a builder's perspective is in those regional areas, they don't have access to the trades.
To the traders,
And so that slows everything
down.
down. And so what they see is it's hard to deliver larger projects in regional areas because you don't have the trades to be able to build that many houses. This will solve that.
Yeah.
So they can roll out more accommodation and more dwellings and more properties in those areas, and they can do it much faster. And that's the play that Metricon actually sees. But for me, watch the space. Like if this is the first version.
Yeah, but I think that's the question I have for you, Massey. Is that the future? Is this the future? I know they're downplaying. They might just be downplaying and saying it's just for for regional areas and that. But do you see the future that houses are built this way?
I think we will continually see new ideas that people want to roll out to improve construction.
Innovating.
The hard part is always finance. Right? So you have to construct in a way where a bank is going to lend money against the asset.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you do brick veneer, if you build a nice house, the bricks, the bank's like, well, here's the money.
Yeah, they build on progress of the building.
So you've got to get two things. You've got to be able to get finance. Right? The construction has to meet the bank's criteria to go, we'll give you this 500, 600,000.
Yeah.
You still got to buy the land. So if you're buying in Sydney, the land still costs $800,000. Right? So you still need to get a substantial loan. The lenders have to tick the box and say, yes, we'll finance that.
It'll be panel, right? Panel 1, panel 2.
The Commonwealth Bank has to say, we're willing to accept the risk of us lending money to you to construct that house. So they've got to extract that.
And they've got to accept that.
They've got to accept
those type of builds.
That's right. So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Second thing is council.
Compliance.
Yeah, but some councils are like, well, we don't want cheap properties. We want nice properties. We want a nice area. We want our suburbs to look good. We want houses that look like, the ones that are being built now.
With the question I seen on Instagram, is it going to be the same quality
Well, this is
on
it.
the build?
So
It's
this
like
is
the quality of the build.
Yeah, so the finished quality. So the quality of the construction, from what Metricon is saying, is there's no issues around the actual quality itself.
Okay.
But what happens is, what they're talking about is density, putting a lot of these all together in one place. And then you're like, well, is that going to be like high density, low income housing?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay. So we're building ghettos. Then
Yeah.
that's where the council's like, well, we don't really want that. And that's the issue. So they've got to be able to tick those two boxes. So it's not just the ability, we can build faster. It's banks and local council
Do they accept that?
accepting it.
And their input on it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And because you've got local residents are like, what? So you're going to put a caravan park next to us? What's going on? You know, like even today, like you try to build a boarding house or you try to build, residents don't want that stuff.
Yeah.
So cheaper houses. Oh, you're just not near my house. Go build it somewhere else.
Yeah, that's so true, eh?
Yeah, people don't want it.
What does that look like for the future of jobs? Construction, like...
Construction's safe. The reality is there's not enough tradies in Australia, and Australia needs more tradies.
Okay.
Right? So
there's plenty of work right now for all the construction workers, roofers and stuff like that.
yeah, there's not enough tradies to be able to deliver the construction targets that the government has. It's not enough. Let me tell you about a family.
Let's go.
Let me tell you about a family. So I want to talk to you about a family who's just settled on a property. So you're talking a recently separated single mum,
Okay.
4 kids. The reality is separation, divorce, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Emotional.
It's tough to go through, deeply emotional, and everyone involved goes through, a deeply, challenging
Yeah,
experience.
100%.
Right. And so you're talking about like 4 kids. So you're talking about, family.
How old are
good
they?
family.
Younger?
Yeah, young.
Under
Yeah,
15,
young.
12?
Yeah, under that
Yeah,
age.
it's a young
yeah,
family,
yeah. So young family.
Yeah.
And, one of the biggest mistakes that people can make when that happens
Yeah.
is they allow the emotion of the separation to distort their decision-making process. Right? And so they can go make a bad situation worse. Because they're in that phase of, they're just trying to cope with everything that's going on. The whole world's been torn apart.
100%.
And they're not making the best decisions, and they're not making decisions from the best frame of reference.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the biggest mistake that people can make.
Yeah.
Right? And so what I love about this situation is, mum's a professional.
Yeah.
She's on very good money. And she made a series of very good decisions that's put her family in a really, really good place. So the first decision is she chose, because what happens is generally when you have an asset, they'll either both want to sell or one will want to keep and one will want to sell and get paid out.
Yeah.
Right? So in this situation, mum's gone, look, well, we've got the kids, we'll keep the asset.
But that in itself, that decision making over the asset is emotional.
Yeah. If it's done through the wrong lens, it can become highly confrontational, and it can be handguns at 10 paces.
Yeah.
You said, and you
right.
And like I said, and that's a way of distorting the decision making process.
That's right.
That's what can happen. Yeah,
but it's real life, Massey.
Yeah,
Like, this is,
real life. But real life is, what happens in 6 months, 12 months, 2 years. That's real life too.
Yeah, that's it.
What happens in 5 years when the anger's gone and now it's just you and the life that you've built.
Yeah.
Right? And so the best people, and that's where I take my hat off to this team at Mum, she's made a series of great decisions. So the first one she made was, she wanted to get the house, and so she's bought out the other party.
Okay.
So she's like, well, we'll keep the asset.
Yeah.
And she's got the kids majority of the time.
So most people would kind of sell it just to kind of dissolve it and just...
Well, no.
Is that a common thing you see? Or?
They're either going to sell the asset and they split the cash, or one of them will keep it and buy out the other party.
Okay.
They're really the options.
Yeah.
Right? In this instance, she's gone, look, we want the asset, we'll buy out the other party.
Yeah, man.
So that's smart decision.
Yeah.
Why? Because you get the asset.
You get the asset, yeah.
Get the asset.
Yeah.
Right? And the second decision was about being humble. Being humble. So she made the decision to go, well, actually, even though we've got the asset, to reduce the costs in our home.
Rent it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
She moved back in with the parents, rent out the property.
That's what
So
you
that
mean by
takes
humble.
humility.
Yeah.
That takes humility. Mum, Dad, we're coming home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The 5 of us.
Yeah.
Right?
Let alone you've got married, you've had kids.
Yeah, you've moved on.
You've
Your
moved
life.
on.
You're living your life.
But then
you're
it's
a professional.
coming back home.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what you mean. Yeah.
Rocking
100%.
up. So to me, that's a huge. It's the second step in a series of extremely smart decisions.
Smart decisions, yeah.
made by an amazing team at Mum.
Yeah.
So she's gone. Actually, we want the asset because she's like she recognized the value of having the asset, right, and the base for the family. It's the family home.
That's right.
But then she also made the wise decision. Hey, it's probably a good time to reduce costs in our home. So we'll move back in with the. I'll move back in with the olds, the whole family, and we'll rent out that property.
Yeah, nice.
And then what happens? The rent covers the mortgage.
Yeah, and they reduce the expenses.
Yeah, and you still got the asset.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So that's why it's a series. It's the second decision in a series of decisions that's put this team at Mum in an amazing position.
Yeah.
Right? And all of this can go the other way. All of this can go the other way.
What would that look like?
Oh, I don't care. Sell it.
Yeah.
I don't want anything.
Just in a micro.
In a micro, this moment, this instant.
perspective.
I don't want to deal with this. And it's basically just burn everything down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They justify it because of the emotions.
Burn everything
that's so
down.
true.
And then when the dust fades and the smoke clears, you're like,
Years
what have I
later.
done?
Yeah.
Or sometimes years later, sometimes only months later, sometimes 6 months later, 12 months later, people are there going, what have I done?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Or you can make wise decisions in an extremely challenging situation. Now, in our lives, what's more challenging than the breaking down of a family unit? What's more challenging than separating a family where you've got 4 children?
Yeah.
That's number one on the list.
That's hard, man. Yeah.
That's hard. That is destructive, even for the kids are going through it.
Yeah.
What they perceive to be the safeness within
That's
their
right.
home-owned environment has just changed.
Identity shift.
Identity shift, how the kids react, and so by Mama Bear being able to stay focused and make good, clear decisions for the long term, she set her and the kids up.
Yeah, that's powerful.
And that is not the most common outcome, right? Because people get caught up in the emotion, the anger, whatever it is, and they make really bad short-term decisions, right? But like we said, it's a series of decisions.
Yeah.
So the next decision after doing that, because what's the big concern? The big concern, so the big mistake people make is a series of really bad decisions. But the concern they have if they want to make good decisions is, well, it's just me now. Do I have any borrowing capacity? Can I even actually do anything if I even want to do something?
Yeah.
Right? So the concern is always borrowing capacity because we used to have 2 incomes.
Yeah. No, it's
and we
one.
bought a property and now we got 1 income, which means...
And it's a single. You're single.
Yeah. So I'm single and I've got the kids. So am I even going to be able to buy a property?
Yeah.
Right? So the borrowing capacity becomes the concern. Now, the good thing is by bringing in that extra income.
Yeah. So her renting that property out is now income on her for her.
So you've increased your income. You've gone a long way to go, let's solve the borrowing capacity challenge.
Yeah.
And so the first thing with challenges for every family out there, is it a real challenge? Or is it just the challenge that you think you're going to have?
Okay.
So how do you do that? You just find out, grab the data.
Yeah.
Right? So we did the borrowing capacity. She's in good shape. She can buy another property. She can get an investment property.
She's got equity on, so
Yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Well, okay.
Not only that, because she's on great money, she's got enough money to set up a self-managed super fund. So the property that she just settled was purchased inside of the self-managed super fund. Right? So you've got the first property, which is just, you moved out, you've now got the income coming in, and that's pretty much cash flow positive.
Yeah.
You've set up a self-managed super fund. You and the children now own 2 properties. Right? And then you're saying, am I getting the best deal? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to refinance. So you take the asset that you already own and you go and get the best deal for you and your family. And that's the setup for the third purchase.
Wow. Third purchase.
So what's the biggest mistake that people make in that scenario? And this is the one that I always try really hard to help families to avoid, right?
Yeah.
Is it because if you make this decision, then the dream becomes a nightmare.
Okay.
The dream becomes a nightmare. What do I mean by that?
What do you mean by that? Yeah.
So if you exhaust all of the available financial resources in the family, so you spend all of the money you have
Or
to
you can
buy the
borrow it.
property.
Yeah.
You borrow to the hilt,
the
you
hilt.
spend all the money, and you're redlining in your finances. Then what happens is every week finances become stressful.
Yeah.
And I don't want that for you.
Yeah.
I don't want that for you.
Yeah. Or owning the asset becomes a burden.
Yeah, the
Or
dream.
becomes
a nightmare.
Yeah, it becomes a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's every week. Your bills, baby.
Council rate comes every quarter.
That's it. Your bills coming in.
Interest is every day.
So when we looked at the refinance, because she was wise and she's good with her finances, she had a bit of cash set aside, and she's like, oh, I don't really want to access anymore to be able to purchase. And it's like, well, here's what I don't want for you. I don't want you to buy this property and then you're struggling financially as a family. And then you're sitting down questioning the decisions you've just made.
Yeah.
Because every week you've got a problem. And that problem is finances.
Yeah.
I don't want that future.
And that's on top of the whole change,
Everything else
identity
that's going
change,
on.
emotional.
And then doubt kicks in. Have I done the right thing?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We need this to be low stress, high outcome. So what do we say?
Yeah, we like that, eh? Low stress, high outcome.
Stress,
that sounds like a good investment.
Oh, let's go. So we said, look, let's look at refinancing the house that you have. And I want to make sure after you acquire the third property, you have a good solid buffer, a cash buffer left over, just there. Not that you're going to use it, but it's there if you need it. So with money, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's really smart. So, because at first she was very, because she's smart, she's wise, she's good with her money. Oh, no, I don't want to borrow more than I have to. I said, no. Here's the scenario.
Yeah.
Right? You've just got to be able to see the two futures.
Yeah.
Behind door number one, every week you're stressed about finances.
Yeah.
Right? You're yelling at the kids. You're angry and you're stressed out. Right? Behind door number two, finances aren't an issue. And you have the assets. Right? What do you want? And she's like, Massey, that makes a lot of sense. Let's do that. Not just that. Let's get them the best deal on the property. Let's get them a reduction in their payment. Let's get access to funds to be able to buy a property and get them into an asset that's in a growth area that's close to being cash flow positive.
Win-win.
Win. But what do you have to do? You got to dodge the landmines. Like there's problems out there.
Yeah.
Right? There's mistakes that people make, right? And there's concerns that people have.
Yeah.
So the big mistakes that people make is they go all the way to zero on their finances and they're back to living week to week. And trust me, when you're good with your money and you've always got money around, there's nothing more stressful than going back to week to week.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that's not how you live your life.
Yeah, that's it.
If someone's always lived week to week, ain't no thing. Ain't nothing but another Tuesday,
It's like
baby.
waking up with anxiety,
They don't have anxiety about that, right? Because that's just how their life is lived.
That's right.
Whereas what we want to do for this family, this amazing team at Mum, who's kept an extremely level head through the most traumatic and challenging experience that any family can endure.
Yeah.
Right? She went through that with flying colours, made a series of wise decisions that continually put her family into a better and better position. And we helped her to do that and to see just a couple of things that, she needed to just get right around her thinking.
Yeah.
Right? But one smart cookie. And so one of the things that we do with our students is we'll do like a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
Like a 10-year vision and kind of map out the 10 years. And when we sat down and did this with this team at Mum,
Solid.
like her 10-year vision for me was one of the best I've seen. 1, ultra achievable. 2, super aggressive. Right? Very aggressive. Aggressive on the asset side.
Yeah.
So we've gone from, talking about in a matter of months, from 1 to 3.
Yeah, wow.
So that's an aggressive strategy, aggressive execution.
After
everything that's just happened. And the reality is smart people that go through separations and breakups, their goal is to get back on their feet and move forward as quickly as possible. And they're future focused. Right? How do I repair this? How do I make sure I've got to take care of all this?
A lot of them would just want to sit there and just kind of be in the moment.
Yeah.
Like that's, well, they can justify not moving because of those experiences.
Exactly. Well, so what happens is they're past focused.
Yeah, yeah.
And so all the
Past
conversations,
focus, yeah,
so past focus, there's every conversation you would have with that person would be about, the trauma that just happened to me, what this person just did to me, and I can't believe they've done that to me. And because of that, that justifies all of my bad decisions.
100%.
Right? And that's not productive, right? You can understand it.
Yeah.
You can understand how, because, everyone reacts differently to difficult situations. And like I said, that is the single most traumatic experience people go through. And then the challenge is the people that are future focused move forward faster, land on their feet, get back up and keep on moving on. And they're the ones, and in a short period of time, you're like, oh man, I should have did this earlier. Wow.
Or you have a chat with them 6 months
holding
later,
me back.
1 year later, you're like, what did you do? Whoa.
I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that. Right? All the other people, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years later, same, nothing changed.
Yeah, solid,
same sad song, same sad story. Much love to anyone who's going through any of this. No judgment, man. Like you're gonna experience difficult, hard things in your life, and how you respond to it. We got to give you grace for that.
100%.
But if you want a good outcome for your family, keeping a level head, making good long-term decisions for you and the family, it's very, very, very smart. And so what this team at Man is able to do, just get that family set up, baby.
Yeah.
Set up.
Good on them.
And that's like, for me, man, like, appreciate that.
That's what it's about.
That's impressive. So we, as a mentor and as the CEO teach me about property, we'll often meet families that make financial decisions that aren't in their own best interest.
Yeah.
They will consciously make decisions that move them away from their stated goals. Right? It's like saying, I want to lose weight.
Yeah.
You're stopping at Macca's. Double, triple.
Start next week.
Times double, triple. And do that 4 times a day. So the behavior moves you away from your stated ambition. And we see it happen with finances. If you take the right turn here, then you'll
I think that's a good kind of, like that story in itself. How do you see that happen within everyday families? Like that emotional part, like, they go for an emotional experience, or like maybe it's money stories where we see that impact, where they focus on the past and that holds them back from moving forward.
Yeah, look, difficult moments kind of define us. Not because of what we experience, but because of how we respond. Right? So the most difficult moments that we have in our lives, they tend to be the ones that reveal our character and show kind of who we are. If people are looking for an off-ramp of, same thing coming back to food, the person who's looking for an excuse to eat, they're I got to go there. So we went out, so I had Macca's, right? And then so you're going to experience
it's the same thing with finance and property, building wealth.
Well, so life. So what we talked about on the recent retreat is every year you're going to have 100 bad days.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right?
Remember that.
Every year you're going to have 100 bad days. So that means in the next 10 years, because we were creating a 10-year plan, in that 10-year plan, you are going to have 1,000 bad days. Yeah. Right? So if you take it from a year, you're going to have 100 bad days.
100 bad days in 1 year.
Yep. 10 of those days will bring you to your knees, and 1 will almost break you. That's the deal.
Real talk, eh?
Real talk. You don't get 365 great days where you wake up in the morning bouncing out of bed, going, I'm going to smash it today. That ain't how it works. You get up, the batteries are flat in the car, you can't find the keys, you're running late, you slept in, your wife's yelling at you because you didn't do something that you were meant to do, the kids are sick, there's a million things that can present challenges in our life. And generally they happen in clusters. Like, bro, they come at you, do.
Yeah.
And so how do you respond? So on those 10 days where it brings you to your knees, how do you show up? On the one day.
On the one day. So
on one day. Year. On that one day that could break you. Well, it mightn't be. Like, well, when I said this to one of the students, they're like, hey, well, it's July and I've already had my 100 bad days.
We good. Last 2 quarters.
My quarter's tapped out, baby. Ain't number good times now.
Wow, what a perspective, eh?
If you expect every day to be a good day, you are going to be severely disappointed.
Life,
but if you understand
life,
because then when you're in the middle of it, you go, you know what?
Real talk.
Today's one of those days.
Yeah.
Oh, only got 99 left, baby.
Yeah, that's so true.
Right? Everything is about perspective. But more important than perspective is now that you have the perspective, what do you do?
What do you do about it?
How do you show up on a bad day? And I use this like a gym analogy. Sometimes I'll go to the gym and I ain't up for it.
Yeah.
It's very rare because I like training.
Yeah.
I enjoy training.
Yeah.
I enjoy challenging myself and I enjoy doing difficult things. But some days you're there. And for whatever reason, it's just mainly for me is when I haven't slept properly. If I have a series, because I wake up at 4 a.m, if I have 2 or 3 days in a row where I haven't slept properly, by the third or fourth day, bro, I'm
feeling it.
The workouts just don't have the intensity. But what you do on that day is more important than all of the days when you feel great. Do you still wake up? Do you still go to the gym? Do you still train? The reps that day might be lighter, they might have less intensity, but they are more meaningful than all of the other reps you're going to do that week.
What would that look like on a financial goal, like saving for, or buying property? I think you kind of explained it earlier.
No, so what does that look like in terms of making decisions around your finances?
Yeah.
When people encounter setbacks, when they behave on the worst side, right? They throw in the towel.
Yeah.
And what does that look like? You might have been saving to buy your first home. You might have 25 grand set aside.
Yeah.
And you might get a bank that knocks you back for a borrowing capacity or for a loan or whatever. And you oh, that's it. And then you take the 25 G's, bam.
Wow.
Gone.
We seen that?
Gone.
We see that?
We see people make bad decisions that aren't in their best interest financially.
Because of those moments.
Because of those
that
moments.
1 or that 10 moments.
So they hit a
of the
speed
year.
hump, and how they and so that's one of the 10 days that brings you to your knees, right? And so the best people just realize today's a bad day. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get.
Just tick it.
I'm gonna go get me some KFC. Yeah. Babe, you want some KFC too?
Want?
Babe, what do you want? Double, triple? And so they make the bad day. You know, they isolate the bad days. They're able to process things in a way where they're like, you know what, we've had a setback, but I'm sure we'll find a way.
Yeah, I think it's a power. Is that a skill? Would you say that's a skill you learn?
100%. The resilience, people being able to deal, because you are going to have setbacks, right?
Like it or not.
Like it or not.
It's life.
Like it or not,
Welcome
bro.
to life.
Ain't no one get through this thing without no setbacks.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to have a hard day. You're going to have hard times. It's going to be 100 of them in a year. And how you show up on those days really, really, really matters. Right? So from a finance perspective, things aren't going to go to plan. There's going to be weeks where you might not be able to save. There's going to be weeks where, there's challenges, unexpected expenses come up. There's a thousand.
Engine blows up.
There's 1,000 things that can require you to spend money. Right? But the most expensive things is not a tire or not this, not that. It's not. It's a series of bad financial decisions, which is, you didn't get the loan, let's just blow the cash. So they might blow the cash on a holiday. Don't worry about it. We'll just go to, I don't know. We'll go to Europe, 20 G's, 25 G's.
No, we've been working hard.
We've been working hard.
Yeah, we saved
Don't worry about it, baby. So that's what can happen. All because of one bad day.
One bad day.
One bad day. Or 10 bad days.
Yeah, that's real talk, man.
Or you might get 30 or 40 bad days in a row. And the first one, you're resilient. The second one, you're resilient. But man, by week 4, week 5, you're sitting there and go, Lord.
We're out now.
Come on now.
Oh, love it.
You know? Remember me?
We're out now.
It's like, bro. I've had enough.
Yeah. That's powerful, man. I think it's a powerful perspective to have, because like it or not, these moments will happen,
Yeah, everyone's got a plan, and your life is not going to go to plan. That's how it is, right? But the best
talk,
people, real talk. The best
talk.
people can make adjustments as they're moving through it, and they can navigate to keep things on track.
Love it.
That's it. That's the adjustment you make. So we have that bad day. We got the challenging thing that's happened, but babe, we're going to get through it. It's all right. I got this. And because when you get through it, when you get through enough bad days, eventually you get to the point where, I can get through anything. Man, if I've been through that.
Yeah, 100%. That's so true.
If I've been through that.
What's next?
Is that it?
Yeah, what else lower moment? Yeah, 100%, man.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Then you're like hungry for challenges.
Yeah.
It's like, is that
What's
it?
the next mountain?
This is the only problem? Come on. So we need to build the resilience by doing difficult things and buying homes, investing in property and building wealth for the long-term future, sacrificing today's so you can have better tomorrows, helping your family, right? And being the one in the family who's the one that makes everyone make the good decisions and being that guiding light within the family. It's worth it. It's worth it. Because as you encounter, 10, 20, 30, 40 bad days, however many you might have in a row the next time, your resilience comes out. It's like reps.
Yeah, that's right. When you're used to lifting a certain weight, it becomes the new norm, and then you got to shock it, and you got to lift. You can lift heavier.
Mate, PBs become warm-up weights.
That's right.
That's the reality. Right. And it's the same in finances. It's the same in life.
I love that.
Your PBs become warm-up weights. That's easy to
understand. It's
just easy money, guys. I've been here before. I've done this 1,000 times. The mental perspective doesn't create fatigue and stress because you're like, well, I've been through this. I've done this. So if I've done these other hard things, this problem that I'm having today, which is difficult day number 99 out of my 100 days in 2026. So I've only got 2 left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just get through it. But the best part is your countenance doesn't change.
Yeah.
You can still have a good spirit. You can still be happy.
Yeah.
You can still be like, life's pretty. Yeah, I got this.
Happy
Speak to some people. But did you hear? He's had this problem. He's had this problem. He's had that problem.
Smiling.
Man, that guy's fine.
Are you sure he's
Yeah. No. This happened and that happened.
And what's that capacity?
It's one part capacity. The other piece is competence. Right? But it's also commitment. You got to be committed to what you want from your life. Right? You've said that this is what you want for your life. Like, are you committed to that as a result? Are you sure?
Yeah.
And like I said, we all tend to make decisions where we let ourselves down from time to time. But what happens is when we get better, we don't let ourselves down so far.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And we're able to go, this is really good. I come down and then I come back up quickly.
Rather than just...
rather than off a cliff.
Yeah, because when you go down, then
it's harder to get back up.
And you stand it.
It's harder and harder to get back up. Definitely.
Powerful.
So that's what I love most about this family. When I look at...
Just that reminder.
Yeah, man. Like watching someone go through a really difficult experience, right? And see them just kick goals, kick butt.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
You know what I mean? It's like, damn, baby girl, you got it going on. You know what I mean? Like you can... Because it's easy to see the opposite versions of that and not turning out well. Okay.
Yep.
What do you got for me? One final question.
As a mentor.
Hey, yeah.
As a mentor and running the business for the last 10 years, what's one of the highlights that you found in being a mentor and working with everyday families that are striving, to build wealth, get into their first property? What's something that, when you hear a story or that you hear them go through an experience, like we kind of discussed it earlier, but what gives you that energy? You're like, oh, this is why I built Team Out. This is why I do what I do, This is why I've sacrificed. Like what's that for you as a mentor?
Yeah, it's other people's success. So as a property mentor, you're going to meet a family, and within that family, someone's going to be extremely excited about the journey, and someone is going to be not so excited about the journey. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So we do a family, so it's generally couples.
Yeah.
You'll get one that's like, yeah, we want to do this, and the other one's like, oh, yeah, okay.
Here we go.
You
said that before.
Yeah. How long is this going to last? So what I love to see, one of the most fulfilling things is when the skeptic becomes a believer.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
Now skeptics cop a lot of hate.
Yeah.
But what you got to understand is skeptics believe skeptics believe slowly.
Slowly, yeah.
And they change their minds slowly. Right? So the one that gets super excited and they're like, yeah, we should do it. Oh, Mr. Positive. Yeah, let's go. They get excited fast. They change their mind fast.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And then those people marry each other.
I think I'm that person.
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing this. Yeah.
I'm the positive.
And then someone's like, hey, how's that going? Oh, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing this.
Yeah, let's change it.
Yeah. So skeptics are wonderful because once you win them over,
Once they're in.
Forever. They're just like, this is it.
They stand their ground.
Yeah, they stand their ground because they want evidence-based, they want evidence. They want proof. They want to see that it works. And nothing is more powerful than it working for them and their family.
Yeah.
And so some people believe when they get the keys and they got the house, they're like, wow. You know, and some people believe when they see, I don't know, the first conversation that they have with their mentor.
Yeah, or sign the contract.
Yeah. So the most really, another part that's ultra rewarding is having families join Teach Me About Property. They've got a series of stated goals.
Yeah.
And they hit every goal.
Wow.
And now it's time for new goals.
Okay.
And they can't believe it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because at the time when they wrote those goals were ultra ambitious.
High. Yeah, yeah.
They were like, oh, we'd love to be able to do this, and we'd love to be able to do that, and we'd
yeah.
love to be able to, right? And then you sit with them a couple of years later, and you're like, right, guys, you said we've done that, we've done this, we've done this, we've done that. We've done it all. And they're like, yeah, we know. I was like, okay, time for new goals.
What's the
and
next
they're just
mountain?
like, wow.
What's the
But
next?
in a way where when you accomplish difficult things, your capacity has increased to do more difficult things. But more importantly, your own self-belief, your own self-confidence in what you can accomplish as a person has increased.
Yeah.
Right? So the way that you approach the next series of goals is you're more aggressive, and you're just like, it's just more matter of fact.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, we'll just do this, this, and this now. Oh, we'll buy property number 4, 5, and 6. And yeah, we'll probably get this and this and this. Whereas the first ones, you know, there's a lot of doubt there.
Yeah.
And some people just go, oh, we just wrote that down. We didn't really,
yeah.
you know, oh, well, what we're really thinking is this. So watching a family accomplish every stated goal that they had when they joined Teach Me About Property is rewarding. It's rewarding because I also get to witness their journey of growth.
Yeah, for sure.
Their personal journey of growth, not just their financial growth, but their personal journey, who they've become as a person, right? Often when they improve their finances, they'll improve their physical appearance. They'll start going to the gym. It bleeds into other habits.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting myself together here, and now I'm getting myself together here. And they'll start businesses. They'll just create the positive experience, the positive habits that they build.
It rubs off in
knowledge
each
base.
part of their life,
And the desire to do better, be better, and become a better person, it becomes universal throughout their life.
Yeah.
I want to be a better partner in my relationship. I want to be better physically. I want to turn up better for my family.
100%.
I've got the finances now. Now I can stand with a bit of I've done the things that I said I would, and look at what I've accomplished. Make sense?
Man.
So they're the things for me that provide the most joy as a mentor. Seeing a skeptic go from a non-believer to a believer, and seeing a family accomplish every goal they set out to do. But my question for you,
Let's go.
one final question for Felise,
Okay.
my boy Felise.
Let's go. What's for lunch now?
What battle that you're fighting today do you not want to be fighting in 10 years?
Finances.
Hey.
Finances. Yeah, that's a big thing for me. Obviously, I'm the only income worker in the home. Nana's not working.
How many kids you got?
Kids are young, 7 kids, It's very topical. Kids got, I feel like I'm still building my career, finances, still trying to figure out what I'm doing, where's the main income, and then, juggling that, but then also raising the kids, and then, trying to figure that part out. And I think like even getting Nana wants to work again.
Hey.
Yeah, but our youngest is 5-6 months, so.
Has she got a timeline on that?
Maybe in the next couple of months,
Couple of months?
Yeah, but the question is, if she works, who's going to look after the baby? Like the kids, we've always out.
So how many are not in school?
2.
2? Oh, okay, 2's not.
And we've never had our kids in daycare.
Yeah.
So
She's always been home.
We tried that.
Yeah.
And Nana's that person where she just wants to be in the home with the kids, So for me, that means the income's on me.
Yeah.
So, I definitely, in the next 10 years, I want to be financially comfortable and worrying more about, raising the kids.
How old's the oldest kid in 10 years' time?
It's 22.
22?
Right.
In 10 years' time?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
22, bro.
22. There you go. How old will you be in 10? Come on. Just down the mic, please.
Oh, man.
How old are you in 10?
Whoa, I'm not even thinking that far, bro. I'll just look at you. I'll be your age, 46.
Yeah, so you're 36 now, you'll be 46.
46.
46. That's it. So that question is designed to
Man, makes you think, man.
yeah, we're fighting battles.
It's a shock right there.
We're fighting battles.
Yeah.
What battle do you not want to fight in 10
powerful.
years' time? And the only way you do is you've got to win the war.
Yeah, you got to address it, eh?
Got to win the war. You know, so send out the troops. Let's get that crushed. You know, but what I see, I've worked with a lot of families that have been through the transition that you guys are going through.
Yeah.
When all the kids are young, there's a huge burden financially on the family.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, yeah.
But eventually, like you said, the kids get older and then mum does return to the workforce.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then she goes from being, well, I'm home for the kids, but the kids aren't here. Why am I
Yeah,
here?
yeah, that's right.
I
That's
want
right.
to do something.
That's
and then
it.
so she goes down and starts working.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's the second phase of the
Yeah,
family. So
yeah.
now you're back to 2 incomes.
2 incomes, yeah.
Right? But then there's a third phase. Eventually the kids start working. And the kids don't always move straight out. In this day and age,
Let's go, man.
the
I'm
kids
waiting for
stay at
those.
home. So you can end up where you have a
another
home
income.
where you not one, you could end up with 5, 6 incomes in the house. And we see that, right? We see that. It's tremendous. And then so that what used to be the biggest financial burden for the family becomes the biggest financial blessing.
Yeah.
The challenge is that period is short-lived because the kids get into relationships, they get
They
married,
get married,
move out.
they move out.
Yeah. So that happens.
All right,
But
so there's
but
a window there.
life is cyclical and today's challenges aren't permanent. Some of them are temporary. Right? So you even just a big change, just 2 incomes, huge change.
Yeah, that's a massive change. Yeah.
Huge change. And then it's like, okay, well now we've got borrowing capacity, now we can do this, now we're assets, now everything becomes possible.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, let's bang.
Mad.
Thanks for joining us on episode 4 of
Let's
Teach Me
go.
About Property
Let's
podcast.
go. Let's
Sorry,
go.
with the Teach Me About Property
Property
podcast. I'm Massey Archibald, the CEO of Teach Me About Property, and this is my boy, Felise.
Let's go. Good to have you guys on.
Let's go.